Hello there, Pisces, and welcome to your April forecast. Great to see you again, and I can't wait to see what kind of information is coming through for your sign this month. As always, you can use this for your sun, your rising, and for your moon sign, and you can also watch for someone in your life that you care about. If you don't happen to know all three of your signs, don't worry, you can stick with the sign that you're born under and you should receive more than enough information there. Every month I separate this into three parts. I start with channeled information, which we'll get into in a moment. I move along to a full Celtic Cross where we can look at all of the energy for the month, and then I expand it to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. If you like what you see here and you would like to somehow give back, stick around until the end. I always talk about how you can join me on social media, book an appointment, or donate if you'd like. I'll put this briefly at the bottom here, but again, at the end, right before I give the closing message, I'll also go into it in a little bit more depth. Now, without any additional delays, let's get straight into the channeled information. As I was meditating over the deck of cards that I'll be using for your sign today, I received both an image and some words. The image was that of like a spring, but it was made of energy. I saw that you could basically take the energy and move it within your hands. I also saw it moving around your body. And superimposed over top of this was the magician, where it's basically as above, so below. To me, the magician is the perfect symbol and metaphor for allowing life to flow through and around you and not necessarily feeling that you are stuck in any one place. It's also symbolic of your ability to create things in your life. I recorded this as basically you are resilient, you can spring back from anything, but I would add to that that you are also a conduit or a channel, and you will allow things to flow through you without holding on to them. And that is going to be the key thing here. Both the highs and the lows, because you don't want to get polarized in one place or another. You don't want to have too much pride or ego, and you don't want to have something pulling you down where you're doubting yourself or you're feeling like there's no way out. So if you can meet yourself somewhere in the middle and feel like you're constantly observing and also creating new things, then you're going to be more in a place of empowerment. And that's your channeled information for the month. Let's go ahead now and look at the cards and see what additional insights they have for the month ahead. Just a reminder that I like to remain quiet at this point. I'm going to pull a full Celtic Cross plus the catalyst, and then I'll pull the camera up and we'll talk about everything that we're looking at. Your catalyst card this month is the zebra, probably one of my favorite animals, and also I think this illustration is just amazing. But when I'm looking at this from a spiritual perspective, what I'm really looking at is someone who is comfortable in their skin, who isn't afraid to step out and to be seen. It's actually a lot like the star card because you can't really hide when you're a zebra. And what I think is important for you this month is to realize that there's some sort of a stepping up or stepping out opportunity where you might be put into the forefront and asked to really be present and fully embrace everything that's coming through. It's interesting because your crowning card is the Hermit, and the two energies of these cards really are taking you in different directions. This is the key to success, which is, again, feeling comfortable in your skin and not being afraid of what other people are saying. This card is very private, and perhaps what needs to happen this month is that you're really kindling the flame that we see there. Understanding that your insight, your energy, your ability to kind of think through things and know things, that's what people are attracted to. And the more that you understand that, the more you let your light show, as illustrated here in this little lantern, the more you move from becoming the hermit and into becoming the star. And he always holds the star in his lantern, even if it's illustrated differently here. So I see the potential and the desire and the eventual path to come out and be brighter. And this card is saying, do it, you can do it. But you have to sort of figure out what it is that's holding you back, and maybe realize that whatever you felt in the past made you feel like you couldn't be part of the crowd, or it sort of like was a differentiating factor, that's going to be what is your key to success. Don't be afraid to stick out. Don't be afraid to be unique. And we'll look at the cards now and see what additional messages come through from that. Right at the center here, we have the Eight of Swords card, and it was reversed, but let me just show it in the upright position. With the Eight of Swords, there's always a suggestion to be much more transparent and to realize that you're only as trapped as you let yourself be in many situations. You'll notice that we have a little chain here on this creature, and with this, there could be a kind of nudge for you to not get into conditional situations like, I will let you do this, but only if you do this. If there are contracts that are filled with all of these caveats, you have to ask yourself, what again is the bigger purpose of this? Why am I getting involved with this? So in relationships where unconditional love is not present, this card is reminding you that it's not just an issue of trust, it's the fact that the other party seems to not want to fully open up and give back what you're giving to them. In this case, remember what we said earlier, you can spring back from anything. Even if you have to separate from that person or that situation, you'll be able to come back. So I feel like at the center, the first thing that I'm picking up on is transparency this month. Make sure that people around you are being very transparent, and make sure also that in your own communications, you're being transparent. If there's something in your life that you're afraid of looking at, and your crowning card is the Hermit, it can be introspective, but it can also be a card of hiding. This is the month to come out into the open and just clear it out. It's kind of like when you clean your house, and initially there may be some dust and you got to open a window and let that out. But once the dust and cobwebs have cleared, the place looks beautiful and you're so happy that you went in there. That's what I'm seeing with the center card. This card is crossed by the Wheel of Fortune. This is showing that once you are able to be transparent, to be open, to release whatever it is that is holding you back, making you feel like for some reason that you're trapped, or again, that you're not able to move forward, things start to pick up for you in your money, in self-worth, also just in opportunities all around you. So housekeeping this month, both the metaphorical kind and the literal kind. Clean your space, clean up your relationships, clean up your own energy too. What are you holding on to in your body? I scribbled it down right before I shuffled here, but I put down that you're a conduit and a channel. Things flow through you. So this month you want to see everything being able to just kind of move throughout your body, and you want to kind of be like a river, allowing new things to come in, constantly in motion, constantly allowing for the flow of new potential. And this is going to keep the wheel flowing, because I don't know if you've ever seen one of those wheels where the water is kind of making it move. It can be like that, but wheels are basically just that. They move through perpetual motion, through energy. So whether it's if you have a turbine, if there's like a wind machine and the wind is turning it, or water is turning it, or automobile is moving forward because of the engine, or you're bicycling. What is a wheel other than something that moves, right? You need to move. You have to be moving. You have to flow with things. So if you do this, and also we kind of have the symbolic yin and yang at the center, you're going to be okay. Don't let something take you too high or too low. More things are coming through. There's a lot of abundance this month because your center card was crossed by an abundance one. So once you kind of let go of anything that limits your potential, then your potential really steps in and you have all of these new opportunities coming through for you. In the deep past, we have the King of Wands. This is my favorite card for business. It's really a card that shows your ability to be able to manage any situation in front of you, also oversee other people in your presence. Great card for brainstorming, ideation. And what I'm seeing here is that many of you have done the hard work necessary to get better at managing your time, your energy, and your money. Don't be afraid to lean on these skills this month. There may be also someone in your life who has been there for you before. And what's important this month for those of you that are trying to develop this skill is to realize you already learned what you needed to from that person, and you can start to embody that yourself this month. As we look at recent past, and this will be affecting you towards the beginning of the month, we have the Knight of Vessels or Cups in reverse. And this is speaking to your own emotional state and also how much balance there is in your relationships this month. Knights are all about movement, but this is more in a receiving end when it's reversed. Something in your life has sort of tipped the scales so that you feel like you need a little bit more, or you might be tapped out. You might have been giving too much, There might be something that triggered you and your emotions are feeling vulnerable, or you're feeling a little bit sad. And so towards the beginning of the month, be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with others in your environment too, because maybe this is more about the people in your life. Whatever it is, I feel like you are going to be able to get through this, but it might take a little bit of meditation, introspection, and processing. That's why the Hermit came through, and it's in the crowning position. So feel free to, as often as necessary, go back and think through things. Remember that eventually, and the outcome card is wonderful, we'll get into that in a moment, but eventually you're going to have to be much more forward-facing and out there in the public. But if you ever kind of are confronted with like a potential argument or something that's triggering you, this is the time where you say, I hear what you're saying, but I need some time to think this over. Give me a few minutes, or let me sleep on it, or I'll call you back in an hour. You can do little tiny hermit exercises like that. I don't think you should spend the whole month in the hermit phase though. And as we look at near future, what I'm seeing for many of you is that you're making some really good progress. We have the Nine of Wands in reverse, the beautifully illustrated fire energy here. But what you want to try to do is stay out of arguments, stay out of drama. The card is reversed, which is showing that you don't want to give up. That's so close to something being complete. The message clearly is you've done well, continue to do well, and know that the end is in sight. Just trust in yourself. And if there's something that needs to be discussed, if there's someone in your life, at work, or if it's just something that you have to deal with yourself, some aspect of your personality where you're not comfortable with it, where you feel like it's holding you back or someone's withholding, then bring it into the light, do it in a kind way, and diffuse it. Because this is your month to really take the reins. We have the Empress card in reverse, which is showing that for some of you, you may not have the confidence that you need at the beginning of the month, but you're going to find a way to get there. The Empress card is one of fertility, of bringing things to fruition, of nurturing, and it's great energy to have in your ego. The reversal of this is simply showing that some of you don't trust it, or maybe in the past you just had someone who made you doubt that. It could have been a parent, like a mother or father figure, and it could have also just been people in authority, a teacher or a boss, whoever. This month, you're going to make some sort of a breakthrough where you realize, hey, I can do this. You have good ideas, you have great ability to manage. Once you work through any sort of emotional triggers, then you're going to be able to switch this around and start to focus on embarking on something that you care about, bringing something into birth this month. And for many of you, if I fast forward to the outcome, it's a new job, a new idea, being able to bring some sort of abundance into your energy. And that's why the Wheel of Fortune was smack dab in the middle, crossing that center card. In your environment, we have a reverse card. You don't have many this month, but this one's reversed. And it's still good, even in the reverse state. The Three of Wands shows progress. You should get some signs and signals this month that a few things that you're trying to bring to completion are getting close. And this is also saying that if there is a delay, it's not a permanent one. Some of you might be pulled to travel because this can be a travel card. It looks like it's a good thing. The Three of Wands typically doesn't show negative aspects with whatever's brought into it. For those of you that are trying to deal with a tricky person in authority, this could be in your present, a boss, a parent, an authority figure. I feel like you're going to be able to navigate this. For the first time in a while, maybe you're going to find that inner authority that you have. Change the way you hold yourself, change the way your voice is coming through, and understand that you can deal with this. Money is looking good for you guys this month, but for some of you, there may be a little bit of a nudge or a chance to change where you're living or working. Because in the opportunity space, which means that it's not a definite, it's actually more of a choice for you, we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. This one, unlike the typical one where you see sort of a connection with marriage and like physical location, this one comes through much more as a job or as making money off of an idea or something that is intrinsic to you, your brand, your person, even your personality, your face, for those of you that model or act. So realize that your image is important this month. It shouldn't be, But we are in a world where people are looking at that. So pay attention to what you're putting out on social media. What you say is just as important as what you do, how you look, and how people are perceiving you because of the images that you're putting out there. So it's a good time for those of you that are job searching to take a look at your wardrobe. Make sure that you're dressing appropriately for the job that you have and the job that you want. Making sure that, again, you clean up your social media presence, particularly, again, if you're going to either go public for a company or you're going to apply for a job, because people definitely look at that right now. There's one more message from your deep past that connects to that Ten of Pentacles card. With the King of Wands, it's always to me a very demonstrative card. You are the aggregate of your actions, but you're also, again, how you project your body in certain situations. The Zebra card is reminding you about body language this month. It's another piece of communication that's going to be essential. So I want you to pay attention to posture. Notice how if I'm sort of sitting up and my heart center is open, you can connect with me. If I do this, I don't seem as approachable. If I slouch back even further, it's hard to connect with me. If I can't make eye contact, the same thing is true. And if my voice is too low, then you can't hear me. You don't know what's going on. I want you to pay attention to your throat. I want you to pay attention to your heart center. And I want you to imagine that you're kind of pulling yourself up with this imaginary sort of energetic string, or if you will, the coil. And that's what I was seeing, sort of helping you stretch your energy maybe further than you have before. The outcome card is fantastic. We have Knight of Coins. This is showing movement with money, with abundance, with love. I think some great things are coming through for you this month. You just have to kind of deal with having the ability to project more, perhaps, than you have before, and deal with some of the things that you've wanted to know in the past, but maybe haven't had the inspiration or the ability to sort of take ownership over, and that's why the Empress came through. This is your month to shine. I want you to be able to, and as we expand this forecast, I hope that we can get some additional insight. We're going to start with your health card. And for me, health is mind, body, and spirit. So let's take a look and see what's coming through. What a beautiful affirmation of what we had initially. This is a Magician card, just reimagined. It's number one, just like the Magician, and it's showing the ability to be a channel, which was something that I was talking about. So you're able to sit between the highs, the lows, being able to observe and create and be in a position of power, but you have to believe it. And the card was reversed for that purpose. So when it comes to health, and we're really looking at your ability, I think, to manage stress and to embrace everything that's going on in your life, you're going to be healthier when you realize that you have a big say in what's going on in your life, that you're not sort of being weighed down by other people's demands and other people's energies. I want you to feel your own strength, to start to use it, to start to project in the ways that we were talking about with elocution, with posture, and know that as soon as you start to own your power, you will not only feel better, but you are going to draw healthier relationships into your life, healthier habits into your life, and all across the board, you're going to just feel this sense of empowerment and invigoration. So really powerful message there, but it starts here. You have to believe it, then you have to believe it here in your heart. Once you do that, some great things can happen for you, and some really positive energy can start to come through your body. One other thing that I want to look at when it comes to health is see if there's any messages besides that in the tarot. I would say the only thing that I'm looking at here with the Nine of Wands, for me, this can typically come up in headaches or sometimes just feeling a lot of stress that's resonating in your head. So you're either going to get a headache, a migraine, or you might have trouble sleeping because of bad dreams or a lot going through your mind. So you need to find a way before bedtime to disengage. So some meditation, listening to mantra type music, doing something besides watching the television, particularly if it's disturbing television, like some sort of a show, a crime show, or the news, which might kind of get you in an escalated state. It would be better to read a book, something relaxing, something spiritual, or listen to a calming sort of meditation. That's my advice there to kind of help through that. All right, let's take a look now at wealth and see what's coming through, not just for money, but also self-worth, because the two are absolutely related. So we have a really great card here, commitment coming through in wealth. And for some of you, that could be a new job, signing of a contract. This could also be you deciding that there's something that you want to do, committing to going to school or to improving yourself. The sooner you understand what that is, the better, because things will start to line up in the universe for you. The period of time that this waiting may be for some of you might be 2 to 3 months. For some of you, it's already starting. You already see something happening and manifesting. I see it within reach. I see improvements coming with money, and I see ultimately you being in a much better place as we move towards the middle of the year. But for many of you, we are looking at a quarter here, 3 months, 3 to 4 months, where some of this change will happen. Looks pretty good. There's no other messages that I'm seeing in that space. The only other thing that I can see, if it's self-worth, sometimes there's a little bit of an overflow between money and love. So you might be deciding to join in marriage. The 10 of Pentacles can mean that. The card was reversed, which means that you really want to take a close look at that. For some of you, this could be something like a prenuptial agreement. And if it's two business entities that are merging, you just want to make sure that there are sort of provisions put into place for how this is going to happen, and again, what might happen if there's a buyout opportunity, etc. It's basically planning for the future. And if you do that, you'll be prepared. Things should be okay. We just looked at health and wealth. Let's take a look now and see what's coming through for love, relationships, and romance. I think this one ties up right with the center card, which was speaking to trust and unconditional love, and really transparency as well. So if there's anything where you feel like someone's creating way too many boundaries for you, or you just don't feel good about entering into some sort of a contract or relationship, then trust your instincts. If there's also someone acting out of line, if they're doing something that's wrong, if they're breaking a law or a rule or something like that, then you want to find the proper channel to deal with that, and do it in a way that is both direct and kind if possible. But with that showing up, I would say take it slowly when it comes to new love relationships. I think there are two things here that you want to focus on to be as prepared as possible. The first is the Empress card in reverse. If someone is coming in and making you feel less than, or that you can't be in a place of power and equal footing, that's a big red flag. If you are also pushed back and not allowed to shine, like the Zebra card, which again, I'm getting an association with the Star card, that's a red flag. And if in your own meditation, you sense that there's something that you need to deal with, then honor that and know that it's insight and also intuition that is leading you in the right direction. So trust yourself, pay attention to the red flags, and if anybody is trying to do something that's not right, sooner than later you have to bring that out, and that's going to allow for better things to happen. All right, let's look now at your Destiny card. As you know, Destiny each month really illustrates where you're headed, and it gives you a chance to either embrace that or to do a course correction if necessary. The card came through reverse, but I want to hold it upright because it's a really great image, and I want you to be able to read it. It says Heaven Sent, and there's a reminder in this particular card both that you are heaven sent and not necessarily of this planet or of this dimension, and it's reminding you of your ability to become the magician, which we were seeing in the ego. You have to believe it, you have to see it, you have to visualize it, and realize that that is going to help you connect with your higher self and allow you to do the work that you're supposed to do on this planet. It's also a note that You do not have to settle for second best. And I think that's what's coming through in love this month. If there's somebody here that has shown up, a friend, even a family member, definitely if it's your partner, and you're just feeling the sense that they didn't show themselves correctly, there was some sort of a mask that was kind of taken off, and now that you see who they are, you're not sure if that's really what you want to associate with, then trust that something better will come through, and be grateful for that third eye awakening that let you see situations for exactly what they are. And really look with all three eyes this month, not just your two physical ones, but the third eye. Allow this to be your compass to allow you to see things, to feel things, and realize that everything that is now coming to you is because you are attracting it. And if you start to believe that you're ready for positive energy and you let go of some of these other things, and if there is anything that has to be sort of released, you release it, then all of a sudden better things start to flow into your life and you truly are the magician. Let's review everything that we talked about and then we'll wrap up for this month. Your channeled information this month is a reminder that not only are you resilient, but you are also a conduit, a channel. Things can flow through you if you allow them to do so. And that's really the challenge this month, is to own your ability to manifest. And we saw that in two different cards here. At the center was a reminder that it is important, if not essential, to be transparent this month. And if there's any trust issues, if you feel for some reason that people aren't representing themselves correctly, or if they have ulterior motives, let that come out sooner than later. This is going to allow you to start to attract better situations and put you in the flow of prosperity. Prosperity, by the way, really wants to come through. We see it in the Wheel of Fortune, we see it in the Three of Wands, we see it in the Ten of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. I see growth coming through. For some of you, though, it might involve either a sale of a house, maybe a new relationship coming in, or an old one falling out. Remember that when it comes to relationships, to set yourself up for success. Prenuptials, proper contracts, etc. That's going to be key. There may be a desire this month to pull back, but as the zebra taught you, there is also a need for you to step forward. Some of that will involve if there's situations where people are not truly acting in the light and acting correctly or abiding by rules and regulations. That's when you're going to have to step forward. I also mentioned that there might be some red flags if people have a hard time accepting you for who you are or trying to control you. Looking again at some of these other cards here, your emotions are something you'll have to deal with at the beginning of the month, taking some time to regroup as necessary, and remembering that what you've been fighting for, looking like here it's going to be work and new opportunities, it's well worth it. Don't give up. Things are starting to manifest. Your ideas are very marketable. Your brand is very important. Pay attention to how you're projecting yourself. If you do this, I see success on the horizon. As you start to own your own power, you start to attract healthier habits, people, and opportunities. Commitment wants to come through this month. Just make sure that it feels good to you. And finally, most importantly, remember your own ability to manifest and your own divinity this month. You're worth the best possible situation that can come through. Don't accept second best. That's your monthly reading. I hope that it gave you exactly what you needed to embrace all of the positive aspects of this month and to deal with any challenges that might come your way. If you ever feel like you need to talk a little bit more about a big decision in your life, feel free to reach out to me. The first card in the video will allow you to do so, so will the first link. That'll take you directly to my booking site and you can check out rates and availability there. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned that if you liked what you saw here, there was a way to give back. The second card and the second link are the ways that you can do that. This will take you to my website. From there, you can do a one-time donation or a recurring one. These donations help me buy cards, and they also help me set up the time that's necessary to do these videos each month. So first of all, for anyone who's ever done that before, thank you. All the videos that you saw this month are a direct result of that. And if you've been thinking about doing it before, this is a great time to make that happen. So again, second link, second card, you can take a look, see if that makes sense for you. The third way to give back is super easy. It just requires clicking like and subscribe. And if you would like to share this on your social media networks, please do so. You can join me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as my newsletter. And again, that ability for you to share helps me reach more people. Every month, I try to help you kindle your own flame and to become brighter and more effective at whatever you're doing. My message for you this month in closing is to believe in yourself. I believe that we all have the ability to create things in our lives. It's not just something that's like in a Harry Potter book. We actually can manifest, we can shift the energy and what's going on around us. You are the magician this month if you choose to be. You have to own that power though, and the responsibility that comes with it, knowing that your actions definitely affect people around you. You have to walk the walk. And so if you do that though, you can stand out in a very positive way, like the zebra or the star, and be someone that inspires other people. I'm trying to create sort of a network of light workers and teachers by doing these videos. I hope that this gave you what you needed to become that bright, resplendent soul that I see within you. Shine brightly, and thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your journey. I hope to see you again soon. Until next month, take care. And again, I wish you love, light, and abundance.